Hello friends and welcome to Python Verse series video number 17. I am Rishabh and in this video I'm going to talk about reading files in Python. So we are going to discuss one of the very basic methods of reading a file in Python. So in the previous video we wrote some contents to a file on the disk, and in this video we are going to learn that what are the constructs which are offered by Python if we have to read some file. So files, as we know, that they provide a persistent storage and they are stored on the disk in the magnetic form, and these days we have SSD drives, that is solid state drives as well. Now in Python we can read files with the help of built-in functions. So there are two built-in functions which we can use to read a file, to read the contents of a file. They are open and read. So here is the syntax of reading a file in Python. So it is very simple. File is the object which we are going to create. Open is the function which we have to call. Then we have to give the file name if the file is present in the same directory. Otherwise we will have to provide the complete path to the file. Then we have to describe the mode. So in the previous video I talked about different modes which are there. So for example, we can have W mode, which is used for, let's say, writing. Then we have A mode, which is used for appending. Similarly, R means that we want to read the contents of the file. Now, in order to read the contents, we have to use the function read, which we have to call on the file object. So once we call the open function, we are returned the file object, and on that file object, as we can see, that we can call the read function, and then we can do whatever we have to do with the contents. For example, printing them on the screen or performing some kind of processing on that. And then we can close the file. So closing the file is important to release the resources so that we are judicially utilizing them and not wasting our resources. And now let's look at an example. So let's assume that we have a file called as python setup.txt. Let me first check whether this file is present. So it's called as content.txt. Let me just, So now we have to write a program which reads the contents of this file, right? So let me just write the file. Let me just write the Python code, read file.py. Cool. Yes, so let's write the code. So I have the file read file.py, and I'm going to use the same syntax which we have just discussed. So file equals open. Name of my file is contents.txt. So let us just put it here. We are going to read it using the R mode. Then I can say that contents equal file dot, I'm going to call the read function on top of it. Now that I have the contents as a string, I can do print the contents of the file are then a /n, and then we can simply say contents. And now what I can do is, now as I mentioned, that it is important to close the file once we have used it. Cool. So the program is ready. Now let me just do a Python, then read file, video 17th, then read file.py. Let's hit enter. Yes. So whatever the contents of the file are, they have been printed here. We can verify the same by clicking on contents.txt. So here we can say steps to building a Python project, and I think we get something very similar here as well, steps to building a Python project. So these are the contents of the file. So in this way we can read the contents of a file in Python. There are other methods also. We will cover them in the future videos. Meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned how to read the contents of a file in Python. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next video.